Magandang araw mga kaproyekto. Welcome to Proyekto Pilipino. Ngayong araw ho, we will discuss a very important issue. But more important than the issue is a very important program of the government to address the issue. Of course, in the past ho, pag-usapan natin ang malnutrition, ang stunting. Ngayon ho, kaugnay nito ay ang ating problema sa gutom, ano? And as we all know, no, minomonitor yan palagi ng mga surveys, no. In fact, yung first quarter ng 2023, ang SWS survey ng involuntary hunger registered an increase, ano. Pero ngayon para babigay sa atin yung detalye tungkol sa issue na yan, and also to share with us the program of the government through the DSWD. Nagpapasalamat po tayo that today we are joined by Attorney Baldir Bringas. Sama mo ba yan? So anyway, Assistant Secretary, no, sa DSWD. But si attorney is a veteran, actually, a 5-year veteran of government service. He first joined the government in 2018, no, sa Philippine Anti-Corruption Commission. And then when that was abolished with the start of the administration of President Marcos, he was appointed to the DSWD as director, and then under Secretary Tulfo, no? And then when Secretary Gatchalian took over, he was appointed assistant secretary and is now one of the coordinators of the food stamp program of the DSWD. Ang tinatawag nilang walang gutom. Hindi walang gutom, kundi walang gutom. So, Attorney, welcome to Proyekto Pilipino.
Magandang umaga po sa inyo, Father, sa lahat po na ating host today, Sir Manuel, Lisandro, Sir Carlo, and sa lahat po na nanonood. Una-una po, gusto po namin magpasalamat for providing a platform for us to discuss issues very important to very close to the heart of the DSWD, which are, of course, hunger and poverty. Alam niyo po, Father, earlier today, I encountered a recently published report po from the World Bank. Well, basically stating that poverty in the Philippines has declined by 2/3 over the past 30 years. While undeniably po, no, na it is a significant achievement, it is also important to recognize na ito pong statistics na ito might not fully capture yung realities on the ground. Recently rin po, I don't know if you heard in the news that a survey conducted po by the SWS reveals that approximately 51% of Filipino families, or around 14 million families, still consider themselves as poor. So ito po, no, ito po yung nag-highlight ng importance on why we should implement programs that will effectively address itong poverty. But of course, we all know that fighting poverty is a long battle. So, but there are low-hanging fruits naman na we can address to really fight yung poverty, no, over time. And this low-hanging fruit for us po is hunger. You know, according po sa, well, hunger and poverty po are like two sides of the coin, no? Parang very the same but very hard to separate. Kaya we thought of developing a program that will address involuntary hunger, and this is as you've mentioned earlier po, Father, yung food stamp program. You know, sabi po ng United Nations that there are more than 800 million people in the world go hungry every day. So that's 1 in every 9 people in the planet. Ngayon, sa local setting po naman, ang sabi po sa atin ng PSA, or the Philippine Statistics Authority, that approximately around 1.04 million families are food poor. Or ito po yung mga pamilya na who do not have access to food to make up a healthy diet. So again, based on these numbers, we developed a program called the Food Stamp Program, basically targeting this 1.04 million families, 1.04 million families who are food poor. So basically, the concept po of the program is that we will be providing electronic benefit transfer card. Very similar lang po siya sa regular na debit cards natin, no? Na will be loaded with food credits amounting to 3,000 pesos. Now, our beneficiaries will be able to purchase food items based on the type of macronutrients. Meron po tayong carbohydrates, proteins, and fruits and vegetables. So we allocated this food groups, or we categorize them, no, yung carbohydrate ay yung macronutrients natin. We allocated a specific amount, no, as per recommendation of the FNRI. Now 50% will go to carbohydrates, 30% will go to proteins, while the remaining 20% will go doon sa fruits and vegetables. And again, ito pong electronic benefit transfer card natin is not withdrawable. Now, we targeted the 1.04 million families na food poor. But sino-sino po itong mga to? Meron po tayo sa DSWD tinatawag na listahanan, or yung database of the poor households nationwide. Ngayon, gumagamit po tayo doon para po ma-determine natin ang estimated household income ng isang household. Gumagamit po tayo ng isang statistical tool which we call the Proxy-Means test. Now, we determine yung estimated household income ng mga households natin based on the household characteristics. Ngayon, meron siyang corresponding score. Kunwari, kung meron kang CR, may corresponding score po yon until we get yung estimated household income. Ngayon, nirank po namin ang listahan na yon based from pinakamababang estimated household income up to 1 million households. So, basically, yun na po yung tinarget natin. Yun na magiging baseline data natin for the food stamp program. Now, of course, we all know na the listahanan was compiled way back in 2019, even before nung pandemic. So, hindi na po siya ganoon ka-updated. And that's why we are currently developing a validation tool, no, para to determine if these households are really food poor, no? And no, from there, siguro how did we arrive at the 3,000 peso, no, na we provide to our beneficiaries? Sabi rin po kasi ng PSA na a family of 5 would need at least 8,379 pesos a month to meet their daily food needs. So basically, we computed yung cost ng single meal per person per day, and that's around 18 pesos. So we multiply it by 5, representing the estimated members of or numbers of a family. That's around 93 pesos. And we further multiplied it by 30 to get around 27. So basically, 27 siya as based on the 8,379 per month. Ngayon, since according to the FNRI that this amount is insufficient to cover nga yung daily food needs, we opted or we decided to round it off to 3,000 pesos na lang. So currently po, we are in the pilot implementation. We have identified 5 areas, no? Meron po tayo sa NCR, sa may Tondo, sa may Region 2, sa may Isabela po, sa San Mariano, Isabela, sa Region 5, sa Gatchitoren, sa BARM, and sa Caraga, sa Dapa, Caraga. This is fully funded po ng ADB, no? Binigyan po tayo ng $3 million grant para po mag-conduct ng pilot implementation for 6 months. Now, from after the 6 months... go ahead po.
Yung PBB, paki-explain po sa audience kung ano yung PBB.
Anong PBB, sir?
ADB, I think. ADB.
ADB. Asian Development Bank.
Okay.
Yeah,
Akala ko ano yun PBB, akala ko President Bongbong.
Oo, akala ko Pinoy Big Brother. Asian Development.
Pinoy Big Brother, tama.
Akala ko performance-based bonus eh. Okay, ADB. So ADB is the Asian Development Bank. So through them, of course, they provided yung $3 million na grant po. But then we have a technical partner, no, na ini-implement din to for the pilot, which is the World Food Program under the United Nations. So patawang po natin sila. Actually, ang system po na gagamitin natin for the pilot is the SCOPE system, a system developed by the World Food Program. So from there, of course, after ng pilot implementation, we will prepare a thermal report, and yun yung mag-determine ng pag-scale up po namin na implementation until we reach the 1 million beneficiaries by 2027. So mag-i-increase tayo by next year to 300,000 beneficiaries, and then after that another 300,000 until we reach 1 million beneficiaries by 2027. So ito pong program na to, of course, hindi po ang isa po sa mga instruction po ng ating secretary is that ayaw niya ng dole-out program. So ngayon mag-i-impose po tayo ng dalawang conditions, no? Dito po sa food stamp program. Ang number one po, of course, is yung nutrition education session through the partnership with the private sector. Actually, ongoing po ngayon, nakapag-conduct na po tayo ng first nutrition education session doon po sa small pilot po natin. Katuwang po natin dito ang Pilipinas kontra Gutom at of course
MAP,
ang
di
National
ba?
Yeah,
Ang MAP
and
kasama rin ang MAP, ano?
at
Management
ang
Association of the Philippines.
at ang National Nutrition Council din po kasama natin dito. Ngayon, mare-require po natin sila na umattend ng nutrition education sessions at least once a month. Otherwise, hindi po nila makiklaim yung 3,000 na food credit. And then, meron pa po tayo, yung pangalawa naman pong requirement na for me is very important din, no? Yung work requirement. So, to clarify lang po na we will be requiring our beneficiaries to actively seek work, pero hindi natin sila i-require to actually secure a job, no? Kasi ang job generation is the function of the private sector. Hindi natin may ensure 'yon ang trabaho, but what we can do is mga employment employment promotion activities. So magkakandak tayo ng mga job matching activities with DOLE to ensure na ang ating mga beneficiary ay maging productive citizens of the country. Kasi nga, of course, we all know nga na tinatawagan natin silang food poor. So if they do not have enough caloric intake, or if they do not have enough energy to actually to work and to find work at least, hindi po sila magiging produktibong mga mamamayan. Kaya natin sila tinutulungan po through this food stamp program. We aim to support yung mga daily food needs nila.
Okay. Attorney, question lang po.
Go ahead po.
So, naumpisahan na ito kasi July, di ba? Yung July yung kick-off up to December ang pilot. Tama po, no?
Well, officially po, nag-kick off activity tayo last July dito po sa may Tondo, Manila, and we are scheduled to conduct the kick-off in Caraga this first week.
Meron ng actual trial nung pag-download nung funds to get the food, 'di ba? Kasi ano yan, 'di ba? May partner retail outlets, 'di ba? Like for example lang, 'di ba, mga grocery, mga hypermart, 'di ba? Tama po ba 'yon na they go to the grocery and present the card, no?
Actually, that's a very important aspect or component of the program that I failed to mention po earlier. So, yun nga po, ito pong EBT cards natin, pwede po ito magamit ang ating mga beneficiaries to purchase a select list of food commodities from registered local retailers, no? Or mga like SMEs, yung mga big grocers such as Save More, Pure Gold, and of course yung Kadiwa store ng Pangulo. Of course, ipa-prioritize natin dito yung Kadiwa store ng Pangulo kasi we will create an ecosystem from farm to table, no? Ngayon, magsa-start siya sa ating farmers who will grow the crops. And once it is harvested, ita-transport po siya sa mga Kadiwa store ng Pangulo where our beneficiaries can purchase yung mga produce using their EBT cards. And then of course, later on, they will be able to enjoy yung healthy and nutritious food in their homes.
Attorney, question, how long will the families be enrolled? Meron bang exit parang exit plan, 'di ba, na when do we say na okay, naka-graduate na sila, they can be gaano katagal yung plan? Kasi 'di ba, for example, alam ko meron mga feeding program, pag pinakinggan mo, 'di ba, very good idea, and then you realize it's only good for 6 months, ganon. So ano yung exit strategy And what are the metrics in terms of yung impact ng program dun sa pamilya? Of course, they're lifted out of the hunger, ano, no, the tawag doon, parang ano yun, involuntary hunger, no? So, meron bang ganung plano na, and then how do you make sure they don't fall back into that ano, no, problem?
Yun, Father, well, sagutin ko muna diretso yung question nyo. 4 years po ang maximum period for a beneficiary to stay in the program.
Okay.
Father, you know, na parang it is a well-settled rule in literature that in order for a program not to be successful, support must be sustained over time. So like in many programs being implemented by other countries, example na lang po yung 4-piece program natin dito sa Philippines. Ang period po or maximum period po dyan is 7 years. No, so medyo matagal. So atin sa food stamp program, we decided na it should be 4 years. You know, ang support must be sustained for 4 years in order to ensure, gaya po ng sinabi niyo, Father, na they will not slip back to that food poor category. No, so isusupport natin sila until makalabas sila doon po sa category na yon.
Oo. Oo.
Attorney, may tanungin ko lang, yung I guess yung overall sort of idea ng pamahalaan. Dati there used to be the CCT, conditional cash transfer. So ang idea noon, may bibigay na, well, now we call everything ayuda, so may bibigay na tulong ang pamahalaan, but may kapalit na mga requirements. Kailangan pag-aralin ng mga anak and mag-report for health training, that sort of thing. And then for a while, parang inibang pananaw ng pamahalaan na dapat diretsong ayuda na lang at ayuda lang, wala ng mga kondisyones. Now I understand na medyo sort of middle road ang... So could you explain yung overall point of view ng, let's say, DSWD at ibang mga ahensya? Sino ang mga kababayan natin na binibigyan ng tulong? And then sa mga binibigyan ng tulong, merong ding mas maliit na grupo na ang tulong para bumili ng pagkain, which is what you're explaining now, hindi ba? But that doesn't include schooling and that sort of thing. So ito yung can you give us a clear idea of yung what kind of families need specifically help to buy food, and then from there how you're moving forward?
Yes, Sir Manuel. Actually, yun po yung earlier I mentioned we'll be for the food stamp program lang. We'll be targeting the bottom 1 million households from the listahan ng database. So sila po yung well, we rank them basically. So sila na po yung poorest of the poor talaga natin na mga
Okay.
kababayan.
May tanong lang ako dito which always comes up. Yung the poorest of the poor, paano yan kung wala silang permanent address? Di ba may danger na nawawala ang mga yun? Because kung ganun ka dukha, wala ring lugar na permanente yung pwedeng tirahan. At paano nyo nahahanap sila? At paano nyo sinisigurado na babalik sila at babalik?
Yun, gaya rin po na sinabi ko, sir, kanina po, we admit naman po na there is no perfect database po. Kahit internationally po, meron po tayo mga inclusion and exclusion errors. But just the same, ito pong listahan na natin, compiled way back in 2019. So, marami po tayong, of course, during our recent, yung kick-off namin, may mga hindi na po kami malocate na residents kasi luma na nga rin po yung database natin. But of course, like I said earlier, na foresee na po namin to na magiging problema later on. Kaya nga po, currently we are developing a validation tool, no, na will basically assess, we will pattern it after. Meron po kasi sa DSWD tinatawag na social welfare development indicators. Ito po yung nag-a-assess ng households po ng ating mga kababayan kung ano na po yung well-being nila. Ngayon, we will design a similar indicator for the food stamp program para ma-validate po natin. Ngayon, of course, hindi natin maka-capture lahat dito, no, sa listahanan, and we agree to that. Kaya po ito, may separate tool po tayong gagamitin para po doon sa mga hindi po na-capture na listahanan. And to add, may isa po sa mga directive po ng ating presidente na idagdag po natin or i-include natin sa programa pong ito ang mga pregnant and lactating women. So meron na pong efforts ang DSWD na i-identify, kasi right now wala po tayong reliable or credible na database ng pregnant and lactating women. So the DSWD is currently initiating or parang developing a strategy or plan to identify the PLWs nationwide. Of course, to address ito po yung support, yung first 1,000 days.
Kasama ba sa sistema na ginagawa nyo ang mga barangay at paano kayo nakikipag-ugnayan sa mga barangay? Kasi sila ang nakakaalam ng mga, di ba, sino talaga ang nandun at sino yung pwede tulungan.
Yes, just last week po, Sir Manolo, just last week nakipag-meeting po kami with the National Nutrition Council and the DILG. So we will be tapping for purposes of ito pong pag-identify natin ng mga PLWs. We will enlist the help of our BNS or mga barangay nutrition scholars. They are under the supervision ng mga local government. So we ask the help of the DILG. Well, according to them, na they can issue naman the necessary memo later on kapag ide-deploy na po mga BNS natin. And we agree, sir, tama po kayo, na through barangay kailangan, kasi ang database ng apparently kulang yung database natin nationwide regarding sa nutrition or malnutrition. So naka-devolve po siya sa mga local government agencies.
Bago alam ko ready na si Leloy pumasok sa conversation. Pero bago pumasok si Leloy, siguro babalikan lang namin, attorney, kasi nag-guest namin si Dr. Habito, Shell Habito, tungkol sa stunting, And maganda yung sinasabi niya eh. And several guests namin nabanggit to yung whole nation approach, sa pagresolba ng mga issue kagaya nito, gutom and yung stunting, yung first 1,000 days. So maganda yung question nga ni Manolo, yung involvement ng barangay. And then pinipilit ko pa in quotation marks. Pinipilit ko pa in quotation marks na gamitin yung mga iba-ibang faith groups na merong on-ground networks, 'di ba? For example, sa BARM, 'di ba? Yung mga communities nila, halimbawa sa ibang mga simbahan, Kasi yun din yung nakababad sa community together with the barangay, So maybe just I want to throw that in, maybe we can pick that up later in the discussion. Leloy?
Mas technical kasi yung tanong ko, Father. So bago tayo mag-move on doon. Ang curious lang ako, 'di ba, kasi i-breakdown natin yung pagkain. So ang pagkakarinig ko doon, kanin, karne, gulay at prutas. Tama ba 'yon? I guess yung technical is to say macronutrient breakdown, like carbohydrate, protein, and fibrous carbohydrates, parang ganun. Pero parang para sa taong bayan, siguro the best way to break that down, guys, kanin, karne, prutas at gulay. Paano natin na-enforce yun dun sa level ng grocery? Paano na-allocate yun? Yung technical nun, pag nag-check out sila, klina-classify nung kahera kung ano yung pagkain, ganun po ba yun?
Right now po, Sir Leloy, actually yung sa kick-off natin, nakapag-conduct pa lang po tayo sa Kadiwa store. So basically, meron po tayong mga available na products. Tapos pipili lang po ang ating mga beneficiary. Actually, before they proceed doon sa market area, binibigyan na po sila ng listahan nila. May list na po 'yon. So kung anong gusto nila, and meron na rin prices 'yon para before sila mag-proceed doon sa parang order area, prepared na po sila. So pagdating nila doon, i-input lang, meron po tayong POS device na specifically created for the food stamp program. Basically, input lang po nila doon. Kunwari, sa carbohydrates, may listahan po doon. Rice, bread, and then input lang po, and then yung corresponding price, input din nila. So basically ganun po siya nagwo-work, and right now meron po tayo ongoing talks na with the Pure Gold. So magka-start na rin po yung pilot ng market ng parang market day natin in Caraga in Tondo para po sa Pure Gold. And siguro since na-mention na rin po earlier yung hallucination approach. Again, yung program po na ito, isa po yun sa important na component po of the program, yung hallucination approach. And I think si Father can attest to that na the DSWD is very active in tapping the private sectors, including of course yung mga experts in their respective fields. Right now po, we have been coordinating with various line agencies to ensure na meron po tayong isang comprehensive program from womb to tomb. So na nakakapag-provide po
Para
tayo
yung para lang sa information ng mga ibang host tsaka si attorney. Yan din yung sinabi sa amin nung pagpasok namin sa seminaryo eh. Ang bukasyon daw namin from the womb to the tomb. So
So, basically, we provide yung first 1,000 days through many of our programs, yung PMNP, yung Philippine Multisectoral Nutrition Project, until na mag-reach sila ng, yung sa household, yung food stamp program, until mag-reach ng daycare. So, nandyan po, tuloy-tuloy po yung support niya. Yun po yung
ang daming sistema nga ayusin, bago talaga maging, aside from database, di ba, sistema mismo. Siguro if I can share lang yung meeting, when I sat kasi in the meeting with the Management Association of the Philippines, I'll just describe the dynamics, pag upo ni Secretary Gatchalian, una niya sinabi sa Management Association, pwede ba kayo sa education? 'Di ba? Kasi doon yung pangangailangan, kasi itong grupong to nandito. So yung idea ng whole nation approach, na breakdown niya in terms of ano ba yung kailangang gawin sa programang ito, And then example yung sa Management Association of the Philippines, sabi niya, pwede ba kayo mag-focus sa education? Papaliwanag sa mga magulang, sa mga pamilya, bakit kailangan 50% carbohydrates, 30% ng protein, tapos yung mga gulay and fiber, 20%, So, ganun yung style nila, na nakita ko, and I think that's what they're implementing now, And the other thing na ni-raise noon sa meeting na yon is yung mapping, na siguraduhin hindi lahat nasa isang lugar. Kasi maraming critical areas na walang programa, So yun yung mga isa pang pinag-uusapan. Tapos ito yung isang magandang na pag-usapan sa meeting na yon. Meron kasing ibang ahensya ng gobyerno ang involved eh. For example, DOH, 'di ba? Kasama yan. And in another program, di ba, attorney, meron yung yung grant naman ng World Bank, yung 10 billion peso grant na 30% nasa DSW, 70% nasa DOH. Nakaugnay din ng hunger, di ba? Kaugnay din ng hunger yung grant, So, ang ganda ng coordination pero very challenging attorney, na kasi to a certain extent, correct me if I'm wrong, attorney, it will ask us to somehow change old paradigms, di ba, in terms of yung cooperation, interaction. And ako ang napapansin ko na challenge, pero magandang challenge, is focus the efforts, di ba? Siguraduhin yung effort, merong tina-target na pangangailangan at merong measurable outcome, so yun lang yung masasabi ko na nasa plano, pero talagang challenging yan, kung paano implementation and yung success ng implementation,
Fads and attorney, gusto kong tanungin sa inyo dahil pareho kayong you're seeing this from different angles, di ba? Ang dami ng administrasyon ang sumuko dahil sa talagang hirap eh. We don't have a clear idea kung ilan ba talaga ang mga kababayan natin, nasaan sila, anong pangangailangan nila. Tuwing magsisimula tayo ng listahan, by the time na halfway through o matapos mo yung listahan, obsolete na yung sinimulan mo eh. So, attorney, can you walk us through, you've been in government for 5 years, so meron ka ng point of reference eh. Ano yung mga ginagawa nyo ngayon na sa tingin mo nagiging epektibo sa pagre-resolve ng mga dating problemang palaging nandoon. At ngayon, maybe there's a chance na uh, magkakaroon ng lunas finally. What do you notice? Is it technology? Is it human ingenuity? Is it simply management? Or all? Paano ba pinagbubuo ito para maging successful yung proyekto ninyo?
Well, thank you for that, Sir Manon and Father. Very interesting yung question and maganda po. Well, one of the problems that we were able to identify po, sir, is that the government work in silos. So,
Ano ibig
kanya-kanya
sabihin
po.
ng silo? Paano mo papaliwanag
So,
yung...
well,
Manolo, ang opposite ng silos, sana all.
so basically may mga kanya-kanyang turf po yung government. So for example, if ayoko magbigay ng example because
Hindi,
I'll
magbibigay lang ako ng hindi specific example pero comment lang Nung nag-meeting kami, sabi ni Secretary Gatchalian sa MAP, usapin nyo na lang si ganito. Mahirap naman na ako magsabi sa kanila. Sana kayo magsabi na mag-coordinate na gano'n. Parang ganun yung style, Manolo, di ba? Siguro, if I may comment on this, because my first time to work, para akong spokesperson ni Secretary Gatchalian, my first time to work with Secretary Gatchalian was in Valenzuela. I think ang isa sa mga kailangan natin i-take advantage ngayon sa DSWD is very focused siya pag nagtrabaho yan, di ba? Number 1. And number 2, data. Pero number 3, and I hope attorney can say something about this, he knows how to work with the bureaucracy. Alam niya kung paano patakbuhin yung bureaucracia. And he knows also what his legal allowable di ba, na mga pwede niyang magawa, di ba? And very very careful siya sa ganyan, di ba, attorney? And number 2, I don't know if this is the right term or if it's political will or management skills. I don't know what is the better term, but definitely management skills or political will is a very critical factor in this siguro before I give it back to attorney, one of the things he mentioned to me when we first met about this, sabi raw ng World Bank, ang problema ninyo mga Pilipino, lagi nyo sasabihin, you want to solve poverty and you want to solve all the problems related to poverty. Wala kayong focus. And I think he's taken on that perspective, Number 2, I want to bring it back din, medyo kung mapasok natin to before the end of our episode. Back in 2015 or 16, baka January 16, Manolo, you might know this. When Roger Van de Brink left the Philippines when he was stepping down as World Bank, I know he gave a talk kasi I watched the YouTube of that. He gave a talk, parang valedictory niya sa Pilipinas. Sabi niya doon, 3 bagay yung napakahusay na ginawa ng administrasyon ni Pangulong Aquino. Number 1 was the Pantawid Pamilya Program, conditional cash transfer. Sabi niya, one of the best run in the world, at that point, Number 2, sabi niya, ito nga yung medyo sa akin malaking concern. Sabi niya, yung pag-shift niyo sa K-12. Sabi niya. And number 3, universal healthcare, So of course, ang ito nga yung programa, attorney, di ba? That it falls under the Pantawid Pamilya Program. Kasi this is, sabi nga ni Manolo, this is a reincarnation or a new form, Number 2, I think this is also healthcare, This is part of universal healthcare. So, just to give it perspective, Kasi nga sabi ni Manolo din kanina, nabanggit niya na ang problema din kumisa natin is bagong hari, bagong ugali, and I think a problem like poverty suffers more because of that trait, na bagong hari, bagong ugali, Sorry, attorney, continue. I just want to give that perspective. Go ahead, attorney, please.
Well, I agree po sa mga sinabi nyo, Father. But well, going back to the yung issue at hand. Well, yun nga, government is working na parang tinitreat natin as silos, They work alone, hindi together, hindi siya coherent. So that's the first problem that we were able to identify. Kaya we isa po sa talagang directive ng our secretary is to work closely. Actually, admittedly, kahit po si Secretary will say na guilty rin po ang department yung dun sa working in silos na ganyan. Dahil within our department, nagkakaroon din sarili-sariling turf yan, yung mga respective program, iba-iba different programs po namin. So yun po yung number one rule niya na we should talk more, coordinate, and of course, kailangan din namin to ma-implement with the other government agencies that we transact with. And dito po ngayon sa ito pong food stamp program, I'm happy to say na we are going towards that direction. No, na we are starting to actually even if you ask NNC or FNRI before daw never daw sila tinatap ng mga well hindi naman never but bihira sila itap ng department before, but now halos every month nagmi-meeting po kami with them. Sir, you're muted po, Sir Manolo.
Yung FNRI is the Food and Nutrition Council?
Research Institute.
Okay.
So actually sila ngayon nag-provide ng yung 3,000 natin na allocation, 50-30-20, sila po yung nag-recommend po noon. But I'm just happy to and proud to say that the DSWD po under the leadership of Secretary Rex Gatchalian is practicing a data-driven approach and evidence-based decision making in the implementation of all our programs. So this is to ensure that we implement effective and targeted interventions to address specific challenges faced by the most vulnerable sectors of our society. So rest assured po na ang DSWD ngayon would be more responsive, effective, and efficient in the implementation of all of our programs.
Well, there maybe you can give examples kasi it's nice when there are positive examples. Data-driven. So, ang problema palagi sa pamahalaan, ang data natin minsan unreliable. So, can you give me an example where you found medyo kulang yung data at inayos nyo ang paghanap ng mas maayos na data? And second of all, evidence-based, paano nyo hinihimay ang ebidensya at paano nyo ginagawa yung paghihimay na yun sa paggawa ng solusyon?
So, first of all, sir, yung sa data-driven approach natin, well, recently, I don't know if you heard in the news that we are in the process of validating yung ating mga 4Ps beneficiaries. Kasi before, meron tayong around 1.2 million 4Ps beneficiaries na possible mag-graduate or ma-delist from the 4Ps program. So following this, of course, and following reports na not all of these households are actually or hindi sila qualified to graduate. So what our secretary did was to order yung validation of all of this households. So nag-house to house po tayo ulit, binalidate natin sila kung they are still poor or not using our tools. Now, for as mentioned earlier, na we developed yung food stamp program, no, using data from research such as yung FIES, yung Food and Income Expenditure Survey that the PSA issues once every 2 years. So dito po natin kinuha yung data natin or yung target natin na 1.04 million families. So, yan, from there, dito rin natin kinompute dahil sinabi rin po ng PSA na a family of 5 would need at least 8,379 a month to meet their basic food needs. Dito rin natin kinuha po yung amount na ibibigay natin sa mga beneficiary natin. So this is to ensure na responsive po and targeted ang ating mga programang ini-implement po sa department.
Attorney, if I can add something to that, Manolo, hindi ko na lang bibigay yung detalye para hindi naman maano yung mga meron kasing dalawang information na kailangan doon nung pinag-uusapan itong malnutrition nung in-attendan kong meeting. Isa sa mga hiningi ni Secretary Gatchalian doon sa group na ka-meeting Sabi niya, kailangan ko itong data to, itong data to. And ang may kakayahang gumawa niyan was private. Ano? One was, I think, UP, di ba, attorney? Isa was a UP group, pero isa private group talaga na research. No? Sabi niya, pero kailangan yan dumaan sa bidding. Sabi niya. And by the time matapos ang bidding process, hindi na relevant yung data kasi kailangan namin ngayon para maplano yung programa. So ang request niya doon sa isang private sector group na nasa meeting, kaya nyo bang suportahan itong programa to by funding the research? So ganun kaano yung data, Manol? At least the effort is there, di ba, attorney? At saka yung I think ang isang hopefully in quotation marks, ma-institutionalize yung partnership with the private sector, the way to partner, no? Yung malinaw talagang na partnerships, So maybe just to add to that, Manolo, kasi tama yung sabi mo, di ba? Hindi reliable commission ng government data, and I think sila attorney acknowledge that, Kung hindi man reliable, siguro dahil nga dated at kulang, no? Kulang yung So, okay, just to add to that, Manolo.
Actually, yun nga po yung isa naming problem, Sir Manolo. Yung nagkaroon po ng directive si President to include the pregnant and lactating women sa food stamp program. So, nagka-problema kagad kami. So, ang first na move namin na ginawa is, sino ba yung PLWs? So, paano natin sila ma-include kung hindi natin alam kung sino at nasaan sila nationwide? And that's the reason, yan po yung kinikwento niyo po kanina, Father, na nagtatap po tayo ng, kailangan natin ng mga experts dito, no? Na hindi na naman to kaya ng government alone. So we are coordinating with the private sector to come up with a comprehensive strategy or plan to identify yung kung who and where the PLWs are nationwide. Of course, through the help of the local government units.
Asek, may tanong ako about the project itself. No, yung kasi most of the time when the people hear of a project like this, immediately they think magkano hulit yung total nito from ADB? How much is the funding?
Well, for the pilot lang, $3 million.
$3 million. So immediately
150.
iniisip agad natin that money goes right away to the beneficiaries. Pero not in more often than not, that's not the case because there are so many other things to pay for. And the first thing that comes to mind is yung pinaka-importante di sa prosesong to, which is yung social workers, no. So just to point that out na for a project like this, how many social workers are we talking about, Asek?
Well, if we are going to target around 1 million households, right now po, just to put it into perspective, meron po kami yung 4Ps, meron po tayong municipal links, what we call municipal links. So basically, sila yung nagmo-monitor ng mga beneficiaries in their respective areas. So ang ratio po noon right now is 1:500. Ang ideal po, I don't know if I remember it correctly because I'm not a social worker, but ang ideal ata is 1:300. So right now, before nasa 1:800 tayo, tas very recently na-approve lang 1:500 na. So we aim sana kung possible if there are enough resources, no, if budget permits, then of course we want to target that 1:300 ratio.
Question lang, I'm just interested before ituloy ni Carlo. Do we have enough social workers na talagang license? Kasi I think that's the other problem, di ba? May requirement ang batas. For example, ito may bias, Halimbawa, CHED requires meron ka dapat para ma-accredit ka na college, meron ka dapat licensed librarian, meron kang licensed guidance counselor, pero wala kang mahanap. Wala kang mahanap na licensed librarian at licensed guidance counselor kasi kulang na kulang. Anong situation, Asek, sa social worker? Do we have enough licensed social workers?
Well, right now, I cannot provide the data right now po, Father Tito. I'll have to check it. And siguro later, i-inform ko kayo later on. But right now, the department, medyo kulang po tayo sa mga social workers. So we are actively hiring, in the process of hiring yung mga additional social workers sana to help us, considering nga na we are proposing ang dami pong programs, no? We are implementing a lot of programs.
Tama po kasi kaya ako binanggit yan kasi for a problem as grave as this, they're the first line of defense for this, and hindi ho matutuloy ang programa kung wala ho tayong capable social workers. So for people who are wondering, baka later on we can provide details kung ano yung mga openings, because kasi naalala ko kanina nabanggit ni Father to our guest kay Asek, anong trabaho ko dati. I was a government worker. And this is something I've always talked about with my father, who was a government worker as well. And you say, there are times when you're in government, isipin mo na yung trabaho mo parang, does it really help? Ako nasa foreign policy ako, para napakalayo sa gut issues, no? Pero I've always believed, me and my father always believe, social workers, yung impact nila is immediately felt. And I do hope people who are listening will support this program.
May tanong ako that's connected to that. And
Ano lang, Manolo, Manolo, we're down to our last 10 minutes, so maybe
Okay.
Manolo and Leloy and Carlo, you can ask also questions.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I have a quick question since patapos na tayo. Bago lang po yung programa. So pero I assume dahil data-driven nag-a-assess na. So ano yung mga challenges so far? Ano yung mga bara na dapat resolution na kaagad bago ma-scale up yung programa?
Well, mostly po ngayon sa terrain, no? We are experiencing challenges specifically dyan sa mga GIDA areas, yung mga geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas. Nahirapan tayo malocate po yung mga beneficiaries natin during, of course, the validation. So, second, siguro yung budget. I don't know if the budget is enough for right now po, kasi meron tayong approved na well, as sa NEP po natin na around 1.89 billion for the food stamp. But our target for next year is well, yung ideal for scale up is 300,000 households. But then again, since yun lang po yung approved, it can only cover around 50,000 households for 1 year. So yun, budgetary constraints. And well, in terms of yung implementation, yung system ngayon, dinedevelop din kasi natin. Right now, we as I've said earlier, in-adopt natin yung scope system na being used by the World Food Program. But of course, later on, during the scale up, we should come up with our own system. Kasi hindi naman nila ibibigay sa atin yon yung system nila. So currently we are developing and nagpo-pool tayo ng mga experts, no, para po maging smooth itong development.
Okay, this brings up the question from the very start. Paano nyo naisip na magkaroon ng food stamp program at anong naging modelo nyo sa pagpili ng food stamp program?
Yan, Sir Manolo. Earlier, yun nga rin, yung mga data po na pinrovide natin na more than 800 million people in the world go hungry every day. 1 in every 9 people go to bed hungry every day. So yun, yung mga data natin na would point out that hunger is really a problem that we should address. Ngayon, why the food stamp program? Well, there are literature naman po. We available online na food stamp program is really an effective program in addressing involuntary hunger. So actually, we patterned this program. Many countries have implemented the food stamp program successfully. Meron tayong SNAP sa US, sa Indonesia. Marami po nag-i-implement. And pinattern po natin ang food stamp natin based, wala po tayong specific na country na pinattern. Lahat po ng best practices of all of these countries, yun po yung kinuha natin at in-include natin sa food stamp program dito sa Philippines.
Okay. Any other questions before we ask Asek to do final wrap up from his end? Carlo, Leloy, and Manolo.
Go ahead.
Okay. At Asek, any final words na gusto nyong ibahagi sa ating mga kapre? Alam mo, Asek, siguro masabi ko lang, yung mga ibang episodes namin, dahil sa pinag-usapan, meron kami ngayon 2 at meron kami binubuong pangatlong mga gustong magproyekto, no? For example, merong group na ready to do stunting. So, isa yan. Merong group naman, tulungan yung mga farmers. Tapos meron isang group ngayon naman, na bunga pa rin ng stunting. May kumausap sa akin na kung pwede ba raw mag-create ng programs doon sa mga stunted na mga bata para matulungan sila maging productive members of society. No? So, baka meron kang gustong mabanggit, Asek, na I'm sure may pipick up nito. I'm sure may pipick up na grupo na gusto mag-start ng proyekto kasama ninyo. So, Asek, go ahead please.
Well, again, unang-una, gusto ko po magpasalamat po sa inyo, sa lahat po ng mga nanonood din sa atin ngayong araw na to. And sa inyo po, Father, Sir Manolo, Sir Leloy, Sir Carlo, for again giving us the opportunity na ma-discuss po itong issue na to, itong hunger and poverty. And rest assured naman po kayo lahat, you can rest assured na that the SWD will work above and beyond what is expected of us. No? And as I've said earlier, na under the leadership of Secretary Rex, now we are practicing data-driven approach, evidence-based decision making. And this is to ensure po na na responsive ang lahat ng mga programs na ini-implement natin. Napupunta po siya sa mga dapat at sa mga nangangailangan. So sana po matulungan niyo po kami dito po sa ating endeavor po natin ito. Kasi ultimately, hindi lang naman po ang mga beneficiaryo natin ang matutulungan natin dito, hindi yung ekonomiya po na ating bansa. So maraming salamat po sa inyo lahat.
Asek, maraming pong salamat. And I'm sure I speak on behalf of Carlo, Manolo, and Leloy na maraming salamat po sa inyong pag-guest sa amin at saka sa inyong yung honesty ninyo in terms of yan, alam namin yan, kulang kami dyan, ito kailangan namin, let me get back to you on that. I find that very, very refreshing and very hopeful, no, na the program is in good hands, no, in terms of at least getting it off the ground. And ito nga sa ating mga kaproyekto, please, if you're interested, contact us and we will link you with DSWD. And this is another major project na tingin ko maganda para sa Proyekto Pilipino. Maraming salamat po, Asek, salamat. Salamat Manolo, Carlo, Leloy, and sa ating mga kaproyekto, hopefully, mabigyan tayo ng inspirasyon ng episode na ito na sabi nga natin, whole nation approach. Ito po ang Proyekto Pilipino. Maraming salamat po.